February 18, 1901, Foxstone Park, Vienna, Virginia, 4:47 p.m. The winter light is already fading over Wolf Trap Creek. The trees along the path are bare. The ground is cold and hard. A wooden footbridge sits low over the water, quiet, unremarkable. The kind of place no one ever thinks twice about. Robert Hanssen knows every inch of this bridge. He has been here before, many times. For 16 years, this dark, damp space beneath rotting planks has been his mailbox to Moscow. And today, he is here one last time. He is 56 years old, a husband, a father of 6, a devout Catholic who teaches Sunday school and quotes scripture to his colleagues. He is also a senior special agent of the FBI, America's most trusted law enforcement agency. And he is the most damaging spy in American history. For 22 years, Hanssen had been selling the United States government's most protected secrets to the Soviet Union and then to Russia. Approximately 6,000 classified documents, nuclear war strategies, names of American assets inside Soviet intelligence, men who were later arrested and executed. The U.S. Department of Justice would later call it possibly the worst intelligence disaster in U.S. history. But on this Sunday afternoon, 300 FBI agents are watching him. By the end of January, investigators had searched Hanssen's Ford Taurus. Inside, they found chalk, tape, garbage bags, and classified documents. They had also found something else, something that would end everything. Hanssen had been using a Palm 3 personal digital assistant to store his information. When a young undercover FBI operative named Eric O'Neill briefly obtained the device and had agents copy and decrypt its encrypted contents, the Bureau acquired its conclusive evidence. O'Neill was 27 years old. His FBI code name was Werewolf. When we decrypted the Palm, O'Neill later recalled, we discovered not only his drop date, but where he would make the drop to the Russians. It was the lone smoking gun that let us win the case. That drop date was today. Hanssen is uneasy. He has been uneasy for weeks. In the last letter he wrote to the Russians, found by the FBI when he was arrested, Hanssen said he had been moved to a do-nothing job outside of regular access to information, and that something has aroused the sleeping tiger. He knew the cage was closing. He had recently asked a friend at a computer technology company for a job. He believed he could hear noises on his car radio that indicated it was bugged. He was right about all of it, and yet he came anyway. 4:52 p.m., Creek Crossing Road, Virginia. Hanssen parks on a residential street. In his glove compartment, a roll of white Johnson & Johnson medical adhesive tape. In his trunk, dark, hefty garbage bags and a package of classified documents and a computer diskette. He gets out of the car. The cold air bites at his face. He walks down the wooded path alone. He stops at the rustic wooden park sign at the entrance to Foxstone Park. He places a piece of white adhesive tape on it, vertically, the signal to his Russian handlers that the drop is loaded. Then he crosses the road to the bridge. He kneels down in the shadow beneath it. The creek moves cold and quiet below him. He tapes the sealed garbage bag, stuffed with American secrets, to the underside of the footbridge, the drop site the Russians codenamed Ellis. He stands up. He starts walking back toward his car. They come out of the trees. Federal agents flood the path from both directions. The creek is behind him. The bridge is behind him. There is nowhere to go. Hanssen stops. He looks at the men surrounding him, the badges, the guns, the faces he does not recognize, and the ones he does. He looked at them and said simply, "What took you so long?" FBI agents also found $50,000 in cash left for Hanssen by his SVR handlers, Russian intelligence, the successor to the KGB, waiting at the drop site for him to collect. He never got to spend it. Over 22 years, Hanssen had received more than $1.4 million in payments, cash and diamonds, in exchange for the nation's deepest secrets. On July 6, 2001, Hanssen stood in the U.S. District Court of the Eastern District of Virginia and pleaded guilty
to 15 counts of espionage. On May 10, 2002, he was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. He died on June 5, 2023, in his cell at the ADX Florence Supermax prison in Colorado. He was 79 years old.
The footbridge over Wolf Trap Creek is still there. The park sign still stands at the entrance to Foxstone Park on Creek Crossing Road in Virginia, less than 1 mile from the house where Hanssen's children grew up believing their father was one of the good guys. FBI Director Louis Freeh called Hanssen's actions the most traitorous actions imaginable against a country governed by the rule of law. But here is the part that should keep every American awake. He was the man hunting the spies. He was the one building the traps. And for 22 years, nobody caught him.